AskReddit by Tade 757. What famous place is not worth visiting? Sherlock Holmes' house on Baker Street in London. Of course I love Sherlock Holmes, so as a Taoist I took the tour. Not far into walking around the house it dawned upon me, this is a fake set of a fictional character. What am I doing here? Deleted. Atlantic City. Monopoly got me good. Haha, I had to go there for a convention and was like, oh, so this is why Baltic Avenue is so cheap. Plymouth Rock, Massachusetts. Despite all the rage, it's still just a rock in a cage. Smashing joke, my friend. According to this thread, never go to Egypt, Hollywood and Dubai. Noted. Don't forget Plymouth Rock. Llanfair will Gwingil Godger each Windrob will Lantysilio go go Gok and Wales nothing there except an Edinburgh Wallen Mills shop. Which is just silly as Edinburgh is nearly 300 miles away. Meh. I went there to take a photo by the train station sign. I got a photo by the train station sign. The whole experience was exactly what I expected and I was completely whelmed. Hollywood, it's seedy and disappointing. It's full of entire industries, cough Scientology cough, that take advantage of starry-eyed twits. I think what I really liked about Hollywood was how shitty it was. And the Chinese Theater and Walk of Fame are so much smaller than I expected. The fact that everything looks so much bigger and more glamorous on TV really made the whole thing perfect to me. Plymouth Rock. I don't know how famous it really is outside of New England, but it's a rock that marks where the Pilgrims supposedly first landed in Massachusetts. It is quite literally just a medium-sized rock with 1,620 carved in it, but every elementary school teacher around Massachusetts at least hypes it up for the class field trip to see a literal rock that is not big, impressive, or really historically relevant. Driving an hour on a bus to see this was the most anticlimactic thing and I would not particularly recommend. I'm pretty sure every field trip to Plymouth Rock also went to Plymouth Patuxent Museum, aka Plymouth Plantation Historical Reenactment Village thingy, which was infinitely cooler than the rock, though the appeal of the rock has always been all the tourist shops nearby you could go and buy those honey straws and rock candy from, which I'm pretty sure is the end goal of all elementary school field trips anyways, no? Land's End, UK. Heralded as the fourth most disappointing attraction in the UK. It's not even disappointing enough to win an award. Edit, I mean the landmark in Cornwall, not a clothing store. Diary me. If you're going to Cornwall, I hear the Bude England HTML is the one attraction you can't afford to miss. Plymouth Rock and Plymouth, MA. It's literally just a small rock. It's not even the real thing. It was brought there just to have something symbolic to look at, but no one has any clue where the Pilgrims landed in Plymouth. It wasn't even their first landing. They landed in Cape Cod and found it easier to set up camp in Plymouth. Hollywood Walk of Fame. It's a sidewalk and outside of maybe big events where they may clean the ones around where photos may be taken, it otherwise is just covered in dirt from people's shoes and some are barely legible because they haven't been cleaned in ages. Haha, this is the answer for sure. Every time I'm in LA and someone wants to go I'm like, look, whatever's in your head, keep that image, it's just better, I promise. That being said, walking it and finding stars is kinda fun if you have to walk that street anyways. Like it's a fun street to walk, just a terrible place to have as a destination. In 3rd grade a meteor crashed in the backyard of a kid's house in my neighborhood. He talked about it every day at school and said people weren't allowed to see because NASA was collecting samples. A few days later he said we could go see but everyone had to pay $5. Me and a few friends paid him and went over his house later that day. When we got to the backyard we saw a 3-foot deep hole that was clearly dug by a shovel. We called him out on it and he said something like, that's where it landed, but the scientists dug around it with shovels to take samples. Worst $5 I've ever spent. I have no idea where you are nowadays, but fuck you, Benji. Benji's either a millionaire or in jail. Me, an Egyptian. Ah shit, here we go again. Hey wait. My friend. I read your comment. I think that's worth a tip. No presents, hand for money to be placed in. Platform 93/4 in King's Cross Station, London. Stupid metal statue on a straight wall. A horrible cuter taking a photo with you on it, and another 100-meter long queue to the small and very expensive Harry Potter shop. I was there middle of the day in off season. Don't want to even think about it on high season. Agreed. It doesn't work and it hurts. Egypt. It's like if phone scams were a materialized location. You get there and right away the airport is going to start scamming you, take your electronics away and tell you that you need permits for them, which they will gladly sell you, and then tell you that it's the wrong one and have you buy another one. The hotel you stay at will check your bags again like the airport did and again tell you that you need permits or whatever random thing they decide they can get away telling you needs one. The police will extort money from you if they think they can. Fake police will come up to you and fine you or tell you to follow them to different sites where they will charge you. Children will run up to you and ask if you want to ride their camel very aggressively. They will cut you off with their camel and not let you move forward, tell you it's free, and then try to charge you insane amount. Reading a lot of frustration about Egypt here, but learning about the existence of camel pimps really takes this up a notch. I work close to Times Square in Manhattan. If you have an ad blocker on your computer, you will hate Times Square. New Yorkers will inevitably say this, but if you're a visitor it's definitely worth a walk through at least once, especially if you're from a smallish city. It's very unique. Walking through Tokyo though, it seemed like every other block was like Times Square with the big bright lights and billboards. Native Buffalonian here. The Anchor Bar, the home of the original chicken wing, does not have the best wings in Buffalo. It's a total tourist destination. Plymouth Rock. It's a rock surrounded by a cage with a date on a shitty cold beach. That's it. No, you can't touch it. The further I scroll the more disappointing this gets. It's just a rock, oh okay, but maybe it's a pretty cool rock. It's small and blank with a date carved on it, oh well, maybe it's like in a really pretty spot that's worth the trip. There's a cage around it and it's on a shitty cold beach, motherfucker. Camelot. It is a silly place. Hollywood Walk of Fame. Dirty ass street with cheap shops and homeless everywhere. Only nice spot was near the theater. I came here to say this if no one else had. I have lived in the greater LA region my whole life. I can confirm the Walk of Fame is terrible, at least when I went. Last time I went was when I was 10. I remember a bunch of people in character costumes and trying to get people to take pictures with them for money. There were also people hawking CDs and demanding money after shoving them into some unwitting sap's hands. At no point was I there without at least one parent holding my hand tightly. I will concede this was over 15 years ago, though. Hearing mixed things about it now. Egypt. They treat tourists like garbage. A border policeman in Egypt once asked me for a bribe to cut in a long line, $3 well spent. Checkpoint Charlie in Berlin. It used to be the border between the US and Soviet sectors, but all that's left of it is a shack and a sign, and the only thing you can do is pay to get your photo taken with someone in uniform. There's a frickin' McDonald's next to it. There is a museum nearby which is the real attraction in my books. The actual checkpoint is whack. Hollywood. I don't mean in the colloquial sense, but rather the actual neighborhood. The neighborhood includes the Walk of Fame and the Chinese Theater. The neighborhood is sketchy, dirty, filthy, disorganized, high crime, and just plain icky, and has been that way since at least the 1950s. The absolute worst period was from the mid-1970s to the mid-1990s, but the neighborhood just sucks less today. Hell, There's a big reason that the residents of West Hollywood literally seceded from any association with the Hollywood community and formed their own municipality in 1984. There are plenty of fun entertainment industry related things to do throughout the Los Angeles area, in Hollywood as the world understands it. Just not Hollywood proper. The best thing in Hollywood is Griffith Park. It's got a zoo at the bottom and an observatory on top. On a sunny windy day, you can even see the ocean. Technically Griffith Park isn't in Hollywood, but it's pretty much right next door. While the Louvre is amazing and can consume entire days of walking, don't bother fighting the crowds to see the Mona Lisa. It's tiny and has a crowd of tourists dozens deep all taking pictures. No flash photography be damned, so all you see is flash reflecting off the protective glass. Also, rumor has it that the real Mona Lisa is in a basement and that the one you see is just a very convincing replica. I saw Starry Night by Van Gogh, another surprisingly small painting, at the MoMA and I was the only person there. I was able to check it out for quite a while. I get the hype now. You can see MT Rushmore perfectly fine from the road. No need to pay to see it. Did you go recently? It was completely redone when I visited in 2017 and people there were saying it was night and day compared to the before. The Liberty Bell. You can see it just fine from the sidewalk, and that's about as close as you would get to it inside too. No need to spend money wait in line to see it. Plus, there's tons to do in Philly besides look at a bell. Edit, I've been informed that it's free. Last time I was there, I was a child, so my memory is a bit hazy. But have you licked the Liberty Bell? Cairo. Filthiest, rudest, lousiest, stinkiest and most sexual assaultiest place I've ever been. Even the locals seem to fucking hate it there. Everyone is pissed off and trying to steal from you. Every street crossing is a death trap. All the men seem to think it's okay to grope women in public. Child labor everywhere. Animal abuse everywhere. Lack of sanitation everywhere, and no clean drinking water. Random military checkpoints everywhere. Corrupt cops and soldiers asking for bribes everywhere. The entire city seems to be run on a convoluted system of kickbacks. Edit, thank you to the brave Egyptian patriots who are kindly reporting me to the Reddit Help Suicide Hotline. My vacation to your crumbly city was 14 years ago, and with a lot of help, I seem to be fully recovered. Dubai is a twisted parody of everything wrong with modern society and I judge anyone who goes there for their Insta pics. Edit, grammar because I use there like a fool. And also thank you for silver. I read some comment online that Dubai is like someone was playing SimCity in sandbox mode and just said fuck it to any kind of planning or organization. Niagara Falls is a really cool sight but it's not worth a trip if you're staying on the American side. The Canadian side is way better and has more things to do. I live 15 minutes from Niagara Falls, and our family was talking about this just yesterday. There's a major international tourist attraction right on their doorstep, but the city of Niagara Falls, NY, is a crime-ridden dump. Dubai, yes. The entirety of Dubai. It forces labor by stealing passports of individuals who work there. It's keyed the kafala system. Same thing Qatar used for building stadiums. It's horrible. Dubai. Dubai looks like a giant cleaned up Las Vegas strip. Like, it has the style of someone who has no taste but a lot of money to make something look like their interpretation of fancy and high class.